Welcome to Jake's Savvy Moment, where you can get tips and ideas on how you can improve your and your horse's development. Roll the tape. Today on Jake's Savvy Moment, we're going to talk about following a feel. We've done friendly game savvy moment, we've done a riding savvy moment. We're going to kind of come back to some of our principal games and look at following a feel and that steady pressure. So a feel is a physical touch and it's steady, and we're going to look at how I can use a stick and or a couple different lengths of rope to simulate with this barrel, causing the barrel to get to a position and fall away versus us pushing it. So let's look at pushing and what is the difference between that and holding a position. So I'm going to use the stick and I'm going to cause this barrel to lie down. Now, was that friendly or rude? And how can you tell? Well, obviously it was rude, and the way we can tell the difference is it was more than enough pressure to cause the barrel to lie down. So let's look at that again. And how can I maybe use the stick to get in position to that tipping point where the barrel falls away all on its own, so it lies itself down versus me having anything to do with it? Here it goes. And notice I stayed exactly in my position, so I'm on a line, and the barrel fell away from that position versus me at the last second going, come on, just go already, and pushing past that tipping point. I'm going to switch, and we're going to look at a couple different lengths of rope and how you can use the same simulation to practice your feel with a rope to help your groundwork and your riding. Now that I have my rope attached to the barrel, we're going to look at how I can just prepare sliding my hand down and closing my fingers one at a time, and how much that moves the barrel on its own before I ever start moving it into a position by moving my arm to, again, we can find that tipping point. So like what we did on our riding, we're going to lift, we're going to slide, we're going to close 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers, and my hand just closed and the barrel is already tipped off the ground. Now, I'm going to slowly bring the barrel towards me, and I'm going to look for that point where it starts to come to me all on its own. And I don't want to pull it past that point. I want to have just enough. Here it goes, and I want to have all of my rope out of the way so it doesn't run into the field like sometimes we do on our horse. They go into the slack and then bang into the rope. Okay? Now I'm going to get out to the end of the rope and practice tipping the barrel up and seeing if I can work my way up the rope, keeping the feel, so keeping the barrel tipped up, and then you could practice at home on your 45.
So what we're going to do here when we do this simulation is we're going to start the same, close each finger one at a time, get the barrel tipped up in the air, but now I want to practice walking up the rope and trying to maintain the tip. And as you can see as I go, it moves a lot. It's a very difficult thing to keep that perfectly still. So it really tests your feel in your hand at keeping the weight the same. So it's going to be to your horse the same feel if they had their feet stuck. And then you also want to be able to keep the feel and slide the rope out. This way, when you're playing on longer lengths of rope with your horse, you could slide and feed them rope but maintain the same tension on the rope, or work your way up closer so you could be in position to use a tool like a stick or a flag. And then I finish with setting it nicely on the ground.
To wrap up this savvy moment, I want to remind you, practice, practice, practice. Okay? Perfect practice makes perfect. And if you'll play with these simulations, use that stick, practice tipping that barrel over, see how close can you get, how slow can you go, could you even balance it on its edge, and then use all the different lengths of rope. See if you can't keep it tipped up in position as you watched me do it. You can see there's times where it bobbed as I slid my field trying to maintain the exact amount of pressure I had on the rope. This way, when we go back to playing with our horse, we're going to offer them a much better feel that they can follow. Because remember, nobody likes a jerk. This has been another one of Jake's Savvy Moments.